Tommy Alexandarson, born 1 March 1948, is a Swedish serial killer, convicted to life imprisonment for 5 murders in 1988. He is known as the Butcher from Enkoping, Swedish, Slaktaren från Enkoping, a nickname that comes from the fact that he killed his victims with a cleaver and butcher knife. Early life of Tommy Alexandarson. Alexandarson grew up in the countryside outside Enkoping, Sweden, together with 3 brothers and 3 sisters. Alexandarson has said in various interviews how his father controlled the family with violence. For instance, the father lifted him up against a wall, hit him in the face with his fists and whipped him with an inner tube. He also said that when he was 5 years old, his father chased his mother with a large axe so that she had to climb out the window in her underwear. At the age of 14, Alexandarson left home. He drank alcohol and took drugs. And before he turned 20, he was known as a violent man and drunk in Enkoping. On May 31, 1988, Alexandarson broke into an apartment on Bjurholmsgatan on Sturmholm in Stockholm, where his former fiancée and a 53-year-old man were. He hit them in the head with a clothes iron and then slit their throats with a knife-like object. Then he placed the bodies in the beds in the bedroom, poured out petrol and set them on fire. Alexandarson was arrested and charged, but the evidence was not enough, and therefore, he was released. The public prosecutor Kammarkollegiet Bo Josephson appealed the verdict to the Svea Court of Appeal. On 20 September of the same year, the same day as the acquittal, Alexandarson was at the home of a couple on Odlingsgatan 34 in Tumba outside Stockholm. At the kitchen table they drank a bottle of the drink mixer Rosita and a bottle of Burnvin special for unclear reasons. He disagreed with the man. He got hold of a cleaver and a butcher knife. The man had his throat slit. When his 74-year-old father came home, he was killed with several stab wounds to the neck. A woman who came to visit was killed with the cleaver. Alexandarson then poured denatured alcohol into the apartment and set the place on fire. The throats of the 3 half-burned bodies were so severely slit that the 2 men and the woman were nearly beheaded, despite the fact that a witness saw Alexandarson completely covered in blood, buying petrol at a filling station some distance from the murder scene in Tumba, and despite the fact that the police secured his fingerprints in the apartment. Alexandarson denied any wrongdoing. Huddinge City Court sentenced Alexandarson to life imprisonment. Attorney Peter Althen appealed the verdict. The murder charges in Stockholm District Court and Huddinge District Court were merged in the Svea Court of Appeal. On 17 October 1989, Alexandarson was sentenced in Svea Court of Appeal to life imprisonment for 5 murders and 2 counts of arson. At the beginning of December 1989, it was reported that the Supreme Court of Sweden had decided not to review the verdict against Alexandarson. During his time behind bars, Alexandarson has not had any visits or phone calls from outside. He applied for a fixed life sentence by Rebro City Court in 2008, 2013, and 2018, but was rejected all 3 times. In February 1995, it was reported that the cat Mur, belonging to Nortlier prison, had been kidnapped by a woman but escaped prosecution. Alexandarson, who considered himself to be closest to Mur, intended to appeal the prosecutor's decision. On April 28, 2014, he applied for a conjugal visit from Hällby prison, outside Eskilstuna, where he was incarcerated at the time. On 28 July, he was allowed to specify what he wanted to do during a conjugal visit. Alexandarson had specified that he wanted to buy toothbrushes, dental floss, a deck of cards, calculators, colored pencils, postcards, stamps, reading glasses, sneakers, a battery for a wristwatch, and submit a lottery system. Following a decision by the Swedish Prison and Probation Service, dated August 5, 2014, Alexandarson, then 66 years old, was released on a guarded conjugal visit. When the conjugal visit took place was kept secret. In 2017, Alexandarson made news again as he got into a fight with the Swedish Prison and Probation Service, which he believed had thrown away his red Adidas shoes and did not return his stamps. The shoes were one of the 5 pairs he brought with him to prison: Adidas, Asics, Nike, and Mach 1. According to the Swedish Prison and Probation Service, the red Adidas shoes were discarded because there were holes in their heels. Alexandarson wanted compensation for this, which the Swedish Prison and Probation Service refused, as it was not their responsibility. As of 2024, Alexandarson remains incarcerated.